In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a layer mask in Photoshop. Now you can add a mask to a layer and use that mask to hide portions of the layer and reveal the layers below. So masking layers is a valuable compositing technique for combining multiple photos. So let's say for instance, we wanted to remove the background from this photo and let's say add another background, or maybe take that image into Illustrator or InDesign with transparency. What we can do is apply a layer mask from the layers panel, and if you hover over the add layer mask icon and click once, you'll see that it adds what's called a layer mask, and right now it's revealing all, so it's white. Now if we were to paint with black on this layer mask, black will subtract from the image or hide the pixels. And let's just see that. I'm going to grab the brush tool from the tools panel. I'm going to make sure that black is in my foreground. I'm going to turn my opacity all the way up to 100%. And if I start to paint with black, while I'm on the layer mask, I'm actually hiding these pixels. And it's important for me to say that I'm hiding pixels and not erasing pixels, because I'm working non-destructively. If you look at the layer mask in the layers panel, you can see where I painted with black and that it's hiding the pixels from the thumbnail. Now I want to make sure I'm not working on the thumbnail itself. If I were to click on the thumbnail and start to paint, then I would be affecting actual pixels. So you can see here the brackets are around the thumbnail. That's letting me know that I'm working directly on the pixels versus clicking on the layer mask to where I can hide and reveal from that mask. Now we want her to have eyes, so I'm going to switch back to white in my color picker, and I'm going to just paint on the layer mask with white. So see how I'm bringing the pixels back? So we're working non-destructively. They didn't go anywhere. We didn't erase them. We're just hiding and revealing. And again, if you look at the layer mask, I painted with white on the layer mask, which brought back those pixels. Now if I wanted to delete this layer mask, I could simply right click on it and select delete layer mask, or if I liked what I did, I could say apply. But in this case, I want to go ahead and delete because I just want to show you one more thing, and that's that you can create a layer mask based off of a selection. So I'm going to grab my pen tool from the tool panel, and I'm just going to create a quick path here around the woman, because you can make selections from paths. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to go around the woman really quickly here with the pen tool, and once I connect to the other side, I'll be able to make a selection from this path. Okay, just going around here quickly. Now once I've connected to the other side, I can go over to my paths panel, and I can actually make a selection from this path. And all I need to do is to click on this little icon here to load the path as a selection. When I click on that, you can see the marching ants appear around the woman. Now if I wanted to create a layer mask off of this selection, I can do what we did before. I'll just go to the layers panel and I'll click on the add layer mask icon. And when I do that, you can see that it created a layer mask based off of that selection. And that's really nice because I'm not totally happy with some of the hard edges here. So if I were to grab my brush tool by hitting B on my keyboard and selecting black in the foreground, because remember black is going to hide, and while I'm working on the layer mask, I can paint with black to sort of soften up these edges. Now if I'm going too far, you can reduce the opacity of the brush just a little bit. We don't want too much feathering, but we could go around the hair and soften up some of the hair strands here so that it's not so harsh. And if we go too far, like I did just now, I'm going to zoom in on this. All I would need to do is switch to white in my foreground. And the shortcut for that, by the way, is X on your keyboard to toggle between foreground and background. But if I went too far like I did, I could select white and I could just start to paint back some of that mask. And I'm going to switch back to black, or you can hit X on your keyboard and soften up some of these edges. So now you see we've created transparency in Photoshop, and we could also save this as a TIFF with layers or as a PSD and bring that into Illustrator or InDesign. While in Photoshop, let's say I wanted to change the background. So I'm going to slide over to another document, and I'm just going to drag and drop this golf course into this image, and I'm going to move it below the woman layer. And now she's enjoying a sunny day on the golf course. And that, my friends, is how you create a layer mask in Photoshop.